Hey guys, this is a video tutorial on Wevideo. I decided to do this tutorial because I occasionally make videos, and I'm the media specialist at the school I teach at, and we did a competition, or not a competition, we had a fundraiser, and so we told the kids if they raised so much money that these teachers would do these dares. So either way, when I was trying to put the video together, I decided to go ahead and buy, or to upgrade in the Wevideo from the free version to whatever the next step up was. It was like $10, I think, for a month. You could do it for a whole year, but I don't do videos that often, so I just went with the $10 per month. And I do think that $10 is a very good price to pay for the amount of time you'll save if you are working with a good video program. But it took me a long time to kind of figure out some of the little things to do with Wevideo. So I decided to make this video because I thought I couldn't find one out there to help me. So I figured maybe I'd do one for anyone else that needed help. So I don't know all of the aspects of Wevideo, but like I said, some of the little things that I couldn't figure out that took me a while, this is the stuff that you need to know that to make a basic good video will be what you find in here. So either way, this here is all of the clips that I've already uploaded into Wevideo. But if you know, the first thing you should always do is I go ahead and upload all of my clips. So if you're ready to upload, you'll just import your media here. Once you import them, they're going to go right here. Now, if it's a video, it takes some time to actually upload all the way. At first, I kept trying to click and drag them into the work plane down here, and they weren't ready. So make sure that you give them time to process all the way. Okay, so when you're ready, when you've got all of your clips in, and you're ready to go down here and start editing them, you're just going to click and drag and drop them down here. So what I would recommend that you do is that you put, I put everything in there first. Notice how when you click and drag, when you put it in the track, it's green. That means you can drop it if you want. Also notice when you get close to the clip to the left, it'll like kind of snap together. That's this magnetic feature that they have on there automatically for you. So that just means that they are, one will go right into the next. Something else you can do, notice how I said if it's green, that means you can drop it. If it's red, like see when I go like that, it turns red, that means you cannot drop it there. Or if it's yellow, like so, if let's say you want to insert this clip in between these two, you can stick it there, and then when you let go, you can hit insert and push, and that will insert it in between those clips there. Okay, once you've got all your clips on there, that's when I go ahead and start trimming them and making everything, you know, transition smoothly together. You can grab this playhead here and click it and drag it to wherever you want to start the video so that you don't have to rewatch it from the beginning every time. This clip here is really long, so if I wanted to trim it, I would watch it to the point where I wanted to trim it. Let's say I wanted to trim it right there. When you're ready to trim, you're just going to hit this scissors there, and you'll notice that it split the clip into two pieces. One thing I should have said earlier about trimming, though, is that you want to make sure when you're trimming, because you're more than likely you're going to want to add in transitions at the end. So when you're trimming, you always have to remember those transitions take time off of the beginning and end of your video. So when you're trimming, I always wait like a second or two more than where I really wanted to trim, so that when I add those transitions in, it doesn't take off chunks of my pictures or videos that I want to be seen in the final product. So again, with trimming, make sure you always leave extra time on your clips. Alright, so I probably, in my case, I don't want this second half of the clip. So all I'm going to do for any of the trim pieces that I don't want, I just select them. You can hit that garbage can, but I usually just hit the backspace button. But notice, the clips don't automatically reconnect. So this is one of the things that took me forever to figure out. If you want to close those gaps automatically, this is another tool that you're going to end up using a lot here, but it's the magnifier, so you can make your clips larger, like if you're trying to do some fine tuning with your trimming, or you can make them smaller. Usually when I want to close my gaps, I put it all the way, I zoom it all the way to the smallest because I want to get all the clips in there, and I'm just going to click and drag, so that will select everything. And then if you right click, you have the option to close gaps, so that will snap those together there for you. Okay, if you ever want to edit a clip. In this case, I'm going to edit this video. You just double click on it, and then this editing page will come up, and you have some different options here. In this case, I'm going to speed up the pace of this video. So if you want to speed up the pace, you're going to go to this icon here, and here's the range. So what you're going to want to do right here where the value is, right now it's at normal speed. You can, if you want to speed it up, you can go up this way. You can go up to 10 times faster than the clip is, or you can slow it down. And then in this case, I sped this up. And then I usually do select this smooth in and out with the 1 second. This up here, if you change the range, that's going to change like at what point in the video does the speeding up or the slowing down start. Now notice, when you speed up or slow down, that's either going to shrink your clip or make it longer. When you speed up, it obviously makes your clip go faster. So before, this clip took up all the space. Now it's shrunk down. So once again, I will have to close those gaps. Or if you slowed it down, let me show you what that does real quick. Hang on. Okay, so let's say we slowed it down. And then when you hit done editing, notice now that my clip is much longer because I slowed it down, obviously. And what happens is if it's longer and it butts into other clips, it'll kick these clips down here into another track. So what you would need to do in this case then is you're going to want to select these guys, and then you're going to need to see how I can move them at the same time. You're going to need to move them down until you get to the point that you can add them back into your video where you want them to go. So in this case, you could just... And for some reason, it took me forever to find the undo button. If you did something and you want to take it back, right up here is the undo button. So let's say I wanted to undo those changes I just made. I'm just going to keep hitting that undo button and get it back to where it was before. Something else that I thought was pretty fun was the animating of the pictures. So in this case, okay, so this is an example of when I need to make this larger because I can't see my picture. So I made it larger. So now I can find that picture I was looking for. There it is. And again, if you want to edit any images or videos, you just double click. You've got some options here, but the one that I liked, that I thought added a lot to the video, was this animations. So basically, this is where it starts. If you click on start, right now will be the size of the picture, but I can change that. I can make it smaller, and then I can choose when it ends, what size do I want it when it ends. I can make it much bigger. That way, when you go to produce the video, this is what it would look like, and you can preview it just by hitting this play button here. So notice that it started off small and it got bigger. Something else you need to know how to do is how to increase the length of your images if you need to. So let's say this image here, I need to increase the length of it. Well, right now I can't because I can shorten it or I can trim it up, but I cannot increase it because this is here. And if you have a bunch of stuff behind it, you can't move it either. So sometimes what you need to do, I'm going to make this smaller again. Sometimes what you need to do is use these tracks that are above or below to kind of as placeholders. So at this point, I move that up, then I would click on this image, I would expand it to the length that I wanted it, and then you could just click and drag it back down and click them together to get it how long you want it to be. Alright, so let's say you've got all your clips in there, you've done all your trimming, you've got it to where you think you want it. Now, I recommend doing a theme, but if you want to add in your own transitions, all you would need to do is go up here to transitions, check out the ones that you want. Once you determine the one you want, all you do is click and drag it in between your clips. And then this little sign right here is an indicator that that is a transition. Now, if you ever need to delete a transition, let's say you decide you don't want it, all you need to do is right click on it and then hit delete. Or sometimes you want to change the time of them because, again, as I said, when you put this transition in here, it takes a little bit of time off of this video and it takes a little bit of time off of this image. So when you're watching it, it messes up your video and you want to be able to see more of that clip, you can change the time of your transition by double clicking on it. And then you can see right here, it's at 1 second as is. I bumped mine down to like 0.4 seconds before, and that will shrink that transition so that it still happens, but there's more, you can see more of the video and more of the image. Okay, now let's talk about themes. So, like I said, I wouldn't add in any of my own transitions. Honestly, I think that the themes are awesome and it's going to save you a ton of time. So what I just did with this recent video that I made, this Teacher Dare video, excuse me, I went up to themes and then I looked at them all. Obviously, I decided that I liked confetti the best. When you pick a theme, that's going to choose your soundtrack. It's going to put all your transitions in there and do some other things for you. I didn't use any captioning, so I didn't have to worry about that. But once you pick a theme and you hit use this theme, you'll see then that all these transitions were added. And these are all part of the theme, which is going to really make your video look a lot nicer. Okay, so when you choose a theme, like I said, that's going to include a soundtrack. Now notice, I've got two open tracks here, and then down here is where I have my soundtrack. If there's a track in your way and you don't want it there, you can just go over here, and once you hover, you can click that garbage can, and that way I like my tracks to be right on top of each other. So this is your soundtrack down here, and sometimes you're going to want to change the levels of your soundtrack, of the volume of the soundtrack. And also, I forgot to show you how to change the volume of your clips. In this case, I don't want any of the sound in this clip to be played because I want the music there. So if you want to change the volume of your clips, again, just double click on them, sorry about that, and then go up here to the speaker icon and where your audio level is. You can either turn it all the way up, or in this case, I don't want to hear it at all, so I'm going to turn it all the way down. Now, as for the soundtrack, this blue line is the indicator of how high your volume is. So for this first clip, up to this point here where the two clips meet, I want the volume to be all the way up. But for this second clip, I actually want to be able to hear what he says in this clip. So what I would do here, I'm going to double click it. I put the audio level all the way up on the clips that I want to hear. And then what you do to adjust the volume of the soundtrack, you click on it till you see this little editing icon, and you click that. Now, click about on the blue line where you want the volume to start decreasing, and you'll see this white bubble. You can move this bubble around on this blue line if you want, but I think I want mine to start decreasing right about here, maybe here. And so that's the indicator. That's where it's going to start decreasing. And then I'm going to click a second time for a second bubble, and then I'm going to drag this bubble down. See how it says 10%? I usually put mine down to 2% because I actually still like to hear the music a little bit in the background, but obviously I need to be able to hear him more so. So, and then let's say that I want the music to be low throughout his clip, but I want it to come back up again on this image. So again, I would just click, get myself another white bubble. I'm going to drag it down to 2% again, or in that case 1%. And I am going to slide it to right about where I want the music to start increasing again. So I'm going to go right there, and then I am going to click and add another bubble. I'm going to drag it back up to 100% because that's where I want the music to increase again. So let's just listen to how that plays out.
So what do I need to do?
You need to lick the gym floor.
Let me spit right there.
I guess I lost. Hey, son, can we get what's it called now? All right, clean floor.
Okay, the last thing I want to talk to you about real quick is when you choose a theme. Unfortunately, I haven't figured this out yet, so if anyone else has, feel free to leave me a note about this. There have been times where I needed to delete a transition for a reason. So when I deleted it, I couldn't find the same exact transition to put back into my slideshow. So there are times where I've added in lots of clips and I just needed to restart the theme altogether. So if that's the case, it might be helpful to just go up here and pick no theme. Hit use that theme, it'll take it away, and then once you've done all your edits again, you really should wait, I think, until the very end to add in that theme. Otherwise, you're going to be doing what I did, a lot of back and forth, a lot of rewatching it, taking away the theme, re-adding in the theme. But anyways, I hope this video is helpful to you, and hopefully you didn't struggle like I did trying to find tutorials on Wevideo. Again, I know it's not an all-encompassing. I know there's lots of stuff still that you can do that I didn't show you, but what I did show you should help you create a video that is pretty cool. All right, thanks and good luck.